Let's talk about something controversial, which is the idea of maintenance over mission and why it's not always a bad thing. My name is Joel, and I help church workers and church leaders create incredible cultures where the best work can get done. Now, there's this idea in church circles that some places and organizations become more about maintenance over mission. And here's why that's not always true. Yes, in any church and ministry organization, the mission matters. In fact, the mission is the most important, number one thing that we always have to be mindful of. How are we living out our mission? How are we accomplishing our mission? Are we the most effective that we could be in our mission? Here's where teams get tripped up and actually become more ineffective in their mission when they refuse to lean into maintenance. There's a concept in organizational health called change turbulence and change fatigue. It happens when we initiate too many new things too close together. And I've met a lot of leaders who are guilty of that. Every 6 to 12 months, they have a new idea or a new initiative or a new way of doing things. They don't ever let a ministry or a program really get off the ground where it can become effective. Instead, they wait 6, 8, 12 months, decide that something isn't working, and they move to something new. And they use the idea that we have to be about mission over maintenance as a reason for why they're changing. The truth is that sometimes maintenance is mission. And anybody who's an inventor or an innovator might struggle to hear that a little bit. There's a nuance and a balance here of not changing something every 6 to 12 months while also allowing things to become really what they ought to be. Any new initiative needs at least a couple of years to get off of the ground so we know if it's really working. But if we're constantly jumping from thing to thing to thing because we're doing it in the name of mission, we're ultimately not going to be effective. So there are times in the church and in ministry where maintenance is mission, where after we have that idea, after we have that new program, after we start that new mission-focused thing, we've got to maintain it and build it and grow it, always with a mind towards mission, but recognizing that sometimes maintenance is the fulfillment in the living out of the mission. So if you're an inventor or an innovator, those are the moments that you've got to keep that in check and take a back seat and allow the thing to live out its purpose and to bear fruit before we go and try to change the next thing. So as much as you might hate the phrase maintenance over mission, we have to replace it with sometimes maintenance is the fulfillment of mission. And if we're in that type of season, our focus has to be on cultivating rather than creating in order for fruit to be born.